until the European Union crashes and the Japanese government crashes and the US government is gone, there will be a currency that's mandated as a medium of exchange by that nation state.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Michael Saylor discussing Bitcoin's future and the cryptocurrency infrastructure. Saylor explains that Bitcoin has already proven itself as a commodity and not a security. It moves fast, but not too quickly, and has the ability to hold up to $500 trillion in monetary energy. While he fully supports Bitcoin becoming a commodity, Saylor believes that currencies such as the dollar, yen, and euro will continue with nations managing and reorganizing a balance of power. Let's watch this interview with Michael Saylor as he talks about how Bitcoin will continue to expand and shares his model for what he believes will happen over the next 30 years. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
The trend over the next 30 years is that the strongest digital property, a la Bitcoin, is going to eat into $500 trillion worth of property. Gold, precious metals, real estate, bonds, equity indexes, collectibles, however you store your money for the rest of your life. And then the strongest digital currency is going to eat into the economic value of the other currencies. Right now, there's probably $200 trillion stored in currencies, currency derivatives and the like. And the war is between the USD and the CNY with, one Western faction, one Eastern faction. And then the business opportunity is companies that can deliver a digital currency in a compliant fashion, like your firm, like Circle, and then companies that can help deliver and manage digital property in a compliant fashion. And then there'll be, all sorts of variations on that, country by country, in every different industry. And I think those two trends are the trends of our lifetime, and they're going to continue. Which of those elements do I take away? None of them. You need them all. Okay, so how's the world going to evolve? Well, the foundation is a very high integrity, highly secure, stable layer one. The most stable one is Bitcoin. It's proof of work. It needs to be a commodity. It can't be a security. Can't have an issuer. It doesn't, 7 transactions a second is fine. Doesn't need to do any more than that. If I could move all of San Francisco every 135 milliseconds, it'd be too fast. It's fast enough. I just want to build something on San Francisco. You could put $100 trillion of monetary energy into the base layer. You could put $500 trillion of monetary energy into the base layer. Doesn't need any more functionality. We just need for no one to break it.
Saylor states that it's impossible to change economics of the crypto system. If one constituency is placed over another, it would compromise the integrity of the entire network, which would cause people to distrust it. Saylor feels that a business model with only one layer is extremely foolish. To have a crypto exchange system with only one component is extremely inefficient and will never be successful.
Right. That's why I say we don't really want well-meaning engineers like meddling with the base layer. Just don't break it. Leave it alone. Now, what's above it? Well, what makes Bitcoin ethical is the fact that it's open and permissionless without an issuer. So the layer 2 would be Lightning, which is an open permissionless transaction protocol, not moving or storing $500 billion of value, but storing $50,000 of value. If I reduce the amount of value at risk by a factor of 1,000,000, I can increase the speed by a factor of 1,000,000, right? And the functionality, I can decrease the cost of transactions by a factor of 1,000,000. So I think that it's clear the world wants one open permissionless and open source protocol for transactions. It wants one for money. In theory, the monetary layer is a winner take all. We're going to collapse to that. That's Bitcoin. Could you have a competitor to Lightning? Yeah, in theory, right? You can create a competitor to Lightning. The thing that makes Lightning ethical is that it runs on the Bitcoin token, right? If you run a crypto asset with a different token, it's probably a security, which makes it not ethical. So I think that you can create other open source protocols. Linux is an open source protocol, right? Lots of them.
Sure.
And then moving to the last issue, I don't think the world wants currency. So understanding that money is composed of property and currency in the current environment. The currency is high velocity money and the property is low velocity money. And the reason that currencies will continue to exist, like the US dollar and the euro and the yen, is because nation states will continue to exist. Until the European Union crashes and the Japanese government crashes and the US government is gone, there will be a currency that's mandated as a medium of exchange by that nation state. So if you look out over the next 30 years, I'm not forecasting the fall of all nation states. I think that there'll be CNY, USD, Euro. I think there'll be shuffling of balance of power. I think with regard to economics, right? You can't change the economics of the network. So when you destroy the miners' economics, you destroy the integrity of the network. And when you advantage one constituency over another constituency, you undermine the integrity of the network and then nobody trusts it. And you have to be able to extrapolate out 100 years in order to trust it. So I think that conservatism on the base layer is important. As for what I think will happen over the next 30 years, I have a model which is multi-layered. I mean, this simple model, which is, okay, there's a layer one and it does everything. That's just too simplistic and monolithic. And I just think it's wrong. It's intellectually bankrupt and wrong. That's one of the problems with the thousands of cryptos that think that they have to build layer ones to do transactions. It's just a wrong idea. The universe doesn't work with one element and it doesn't work at one frequency. A better idea is there's a monetary network that's the property base, and that's Bitcoin. That's like granite or schist in Manhattan. And the speed with which you can move 1 million tons of schist in Manhattan is very slow. I mean, by that standard, if I told you I could move all of Central Park every 130 milliseconds, you would think I was magical. But Central Park hasn't moved in 100 years, maybe in 1,000 years. The bedrock under Manhattan is 200 million years old. You don't need to move the foundation of the world every millisecond in order to build the world. Then you need to build things on top of it. So the stuff on top of it are buildings, they last 100 years. And the things in the buildings are businesses, they last 5 years. And the people that are patronizing the business are consumers. They're in there for 3 hours. And so when you see the world moving at 100 million year frequency, 100-year frequency, a 5-year frequency, and a 3-hour frequency, you realize that's life. Trying to make everything move at the same frequency is wrong, and trying to use the same elements is wrong. So that's why we did what we did. I think my background in technology is digital transformation, and I watched how the digital transformation of music or maps or documents or relationships or communications created Amazon and Apple and Google and Facebook and trillion-dollar entities. And it was pretty clear to me that if you can digitally transform something, it wouldn't be just as good as the thing that you had. It would be 100 times better, maybe 1,000 times better.
Saylor believes the better plan is to have Bitcoin's monetary network as the property base. Using the same element in a crypto network is just as unthinkable as making reality move at the same pace. Saylor believes that the framework for his business and technology is digital transformation. He has seen that the digital transformation of commodities such as relationships, music, and maps has produced trillion-dollar businesses like Amazon, Facebook, and more. This shows that if something can be electronically transformed, it will be thousands of times better and more successful than the original. What do you guys think of Michael Saylor's opinion on digital transformations and his outlook for Bitcoin? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.